Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks. Today, got a very special video for you guys. We are going to be talking about 8 free agent targets for the New York Yankees, which guys we believe the New York Yankees should go after and target. We have them ranked for you guys, and we're just going to be giving our opinions, what they did this past offseason, why they'd be good fits for the New York Yankees.
First guy we have is Matt Chapman, third baseman for the Blue Jays. And the Yankees kind of have a hole there. Now, they have guys that can play the position, right? You have Oswald Peraza, you have DJ LeMahieu, but you just don't really know what you're going to get for them. Matt Chapman, you do. He's probably one of the best third basemen in the league, if not the best, and he's a really consistent hitter. He's at his OPS plus has been above 100 all 7 years of his career. So, that alone is really appealing as a Yankee fan because we know how many guys come over and whether they're supposed to be good, not supposed to be good, and they underperform. Seeing a guy with that much consistency is really, really appealing. And also the reason why I would maybe lean towards him over a guy like DJ, he's 5 years younger, right? We don't need to be running out a 34-year-old or however old DJ is. It's nice to have someone young and fresh at third base. Now, he is going to cost a solid chunk of money, and you're probably going to have to lock him up for a decent amount of years. I'm thinking like 5 or 6. But is it worth it? I think so.
Yeah, I agree. He's also an excellent defender over there at the hot corner. It's just going to come down to what the Yankees want to do at that position, because if you do bring in Matt Chapman, someone's going to have to go. What are you going to do with Peraza? And what are you going to do with LeMahieu? Will probably just be more versatile, I guess, slide over, play more second base, maybe a little first base. I don't know. So you're going to have a situation there, but there's no question that Matt Chapman is a good player. The next guy we have is Kevin Kiermaier. This past season, he played for Toronto. He's 33 years old, had a solid season, had 265, 8 homers, 36 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, and posted a 741 OPS. And he's a solid player. He's an excellent, excellent defender out there in center field. One of the best defensive center fielders in all of baseball. Won a Platinum Glove in his career. And with Jason Dominguez going to be out for at least a couple months to start the season, Kevin Kiermaier would be a good fit over there in center field. Lefty bat, speedy on the base paths. I think that combo of him and Anthony Volpe with the speed dynamic could be very, very well. And also the veteran leadership he could bring to some of the Yankees' young outfielders, Everson Pereira and Jason Dominguez. I think Kevin Kiermaier, you bring him in on a 1-year deal. I think he fits a lot of the Yankees' needs. You have that veteran leadership in there. I think he'd be a good fit.
Next up, we have Eduardo Rodriguez, previously on Boston, most recently with Detroit. He just had a very, very good season, an ERA of 3.3, threw over 150 innings, and he's 30 years old, right? So this guy would slot in the Yankees rotation very nicely. He's not anything elite, I would say. He definitely had a really good season. Past 2 seasons before that weren't great, but he's solid. He's consistent. And I do think the Yankees kind of need one more starting pitcher. We have 1 or 2 more on this list, but right now they have sort of a 5 that you'd feel good about, but assuming an injury comes up and some of those guys like King, Cortez aren't necessarily stretched out, you might want one more starting pitcher. So this guy might be one of my favorite options, just in terms of the free agent class for starting pitchers.
The next guy we have is Joc Pederson. This season, he batted 235 with 15 homers, 51 RBIs, posted a 764 OPS. Joc Pederson would be a really solid left-handed bat in the middle of the Yankees order. He'd probably hit a lot of home runs in Yankee Stadium with the short porch. He brings a ton of energy out there, plays with his heart on his sleeve. Guy's won 2 World Series with 2 different teams. He's played on the biggest stage, got the nickname Jocktober. He'd be a good fit. The only thing that concerns me is how the Yankees are going to get him in the lineup. He's not that versatile in the outfield. I don't think he runs that well. You also have Stanton clogging up that DH spot. So I don't know. That could definitely be a problem there. But if we're talking from the offensive standpoint, I think Jock Peterson would be a good fit for the Yankees.
Yep. Next up, we have Jung Ho Lee. He's a center fielder for the Kiwoom Heroes. He's 25 years old, and this guy is an absolute beast. He won an MVP, the KBO. He batted over 340. He has an over 340 average in his career and 65 home runs, 69 stolen bases. This guy's the complete package. Now, of course, with these guys coming over internationally, you never know exactly what you're going to expect, but this guy is really talented nonetheless. And, if he plays up to his potential, and again, there's a little bit of a risk factor, he could absolutely elevate the Yankees lineup and really their team because they need a bat. They kind of need a center fielder, at least for the beginning of the season. So, yeah, if you bring him in, it does bring a question. All right, then what happens to Dominguez? Who slides over to left? Is there a possibility for a trade? Because this guy wouldn't just be like a 1 year or like a short term thing. He'd be kind of a big deal. So there are questions how it would all work. Although if you could make it work, it's like the dream scenario.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He'd be really good at the top of the Yankees order for sure. The next guy we have is Blake Snell, 30 years old, and this season he had a phenomenal season. Probably going to win Cy Young in the National League. He went 14-9, posted a 2.25 ERA and 180 innings pitched, and racked up 234 Ks. He was just flat out phenomenal. He's projected to get around a $200 million deal this year. A lot of MLB analysts think so. And put him in the Yankees rotation with Garrett Cole. I mean, it's scary. It's scary. We talked about it last year with Rodon, and that didn't work out. But, pitching is pitching. And when an elite pitcher like Blake Snell is on the market, if you could get him for the right deal, bring him in. Because if Rodon straightens it out, which we expect him to do, and I at least hope he can, your rotation just gets scarier and scarier. And Blake Snell is a really good pitcher. And he would just be really good in pinstripes. I get he's going to cost a lot. I get everything that comes with that, but he's a really good pitcher. And if he's available, you definitely should do your due diligence and, see what you can get done.
Probably the best starting pitcher available this free agent class is Yashi Yamamoto, right-handed pitcher for the Oryx Buffaloes. And this guy is absolutely ridiculous. He's projected to receive over $200 million. So I will say this, it would be a commitment, and having back-to-back off seasons of giving 150 mil or 160, then over 200 mil to starting pitchers, especially after the guy that you just gave money to didn't work out, it would be a pretty ballsy move. Although I'll be honest, Ryan, the Yankees are in a position right now where they kind of have to do something. They kind of have to force someone's hand. They're in Judge's prime, Cole's prime. So, if they brought in this guy, their starting rotation is probably the best in baseball. And I know we did this whole dance last year, but it would be pretty elite. This guy has an upper 90s fastball, a devastating splitter. He would be perfect.
Yeah, and I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's only 25 years old.
He's 25.
So he's starting the prime of his career. He's only going to get better. 5 years, he's going to be 30. You could have this guy for a really long time. He could be a really good pitcher for a really long time. And Jeff Passan came out the other day. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but he said that the Yankees are going to be heavily involved with Yoshi Yamamoto this offseason. They're going to go after him. So that news is exciting, to say the least, but he'd be awesome to have. And last but certainly not least, we have Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger had a phenomenal year this year. He batted .307 with 26 home runs, 97 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, posted an .881 OPS, and he has been flat out phenomenal for the Cubs. He's projected to get a $200 to $300 million contract. That's from Bob Nightingale. But look, we said it last year at the trade deadline. Cody Bellinger just seems like the most perfect fit for the Yankees offensively. Left-handed bat. He hits for average. He hits for power. The power is going to go up playing in Yankee Stadium. It just seems like the perfect fit. You could slide him over there in left field. I know he hasn't played a ton of left field in his career, but he's a very good defender. You could slide him into left, or you can move him to center. When Dominguez gets back, you could put him in left. So whatever you want to do there. But he would just be a perfect fit for the New York Yankees. You're going to have to go out there. You're going to have to spend money if you want to bring in Cody Bellinger. But, we look at teams like the Texas Rangers, who a couple of years ago spent like $500 million on Seager and Simeon. And, right now they're playing in the World Series. And I get the Yankees spend a lot of money. I think they were second in payroll this year. But, I feel like right now, the best way to upgrade your team significantly would be to go after a guy like Cody Bellinger.